Brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Oh, we forgot to change the liner again. It's a dark morning. There's clouds everywhere, and it's raining. But hey, it's Monday, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. It's nice and sunny and warm all weekend. A little too warm. Too warm.
No. Come on.
I saw an excellent tweet, and this spoke to me because I like summer. I'm not overly in love with it, just because I'm a big dude. I sweat a lot. It's gross.
Yeah.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. I know I should probably take advantage of that, or take control or ownership of that, but I don't. But the tweet was basically like, everyone just likes summer because for 12 years, it was the only time we had off. And now, so like, you just kind of, you know how like, so now you just love it because that you're clinging to that childhood hope that summer's going to be everything it was.
It's like Saturday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. When in actuality, you just like work for 9 hours a day in the heat.
Yeah.
And so it's a little different. And then so the tweet's like, everybody just loves summer because it's for 12 years it was the only time we had off. The actual season is atrocious. But up here, not as bad.
Yeah.
Up here, not as bad. I'm talking about like Toronto summer or like being in the southern states or something like that where it's like 40 degrees and humid. And it's
that's awful.
That's disgusting.
No, that's
disgusting.
No good. Yeah. You
but
can't
here,
even do anything outside in that type of weather.
No, you can't. You can't. Like you have to turn on the air conditioning, and that's the thing about the southern states. If you go through the southern states in the summer, everything's air conditioned.
Yeah.
I was in Phoenix one time, and everything was air conditioned from the smallest souvenir shop to even the baseball stadium.
Just like not having to prepare to be outside.
That's right.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler and Lecter with you on your soggy Monday morning. Rainfall warning for Hay River as the NWT starts a soggy week. This story just dropped, and the warning was a little late, as it's already raining.
Maybe not in Hay River.
No, maybe not in Hay River. You think it hasn't reached Hay River yet?
Well, let's find out.
Hay River is warned to expect heavy rainfall on Monday and into Tuesday as wet weather sweeps over much of the Northwest Territories, which is great news for forest fire warnings and things like that.
Current conditions include light rain.
Light rain. Okay. All right. Narrow band of heavy rainfall, but just enough to get the ground soaked up. So that's nice. It'll break up the heat.
What about our warning?
Well, we didn't get a warning.
We had plenty of warning.
Did we?
Well, everyone was expecting it to rain yesterday, actually, too.
Well, and it started raining a little yesterday.
Well, kind of like, I guess like spit a little bit during the day.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was actually a beautiful day.
It was pretty nice. It was one of those days, though, unfortunately for me, that I was like filled with phlegm and just had a headache and just wasn't into doing much of anything.
Ew.
Disappointed my entire family. The dog in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we wanted to go for a float, and I was just like, no, I'm not.
No, I'll sink. I'm full of phlegm.
I'm full. I think that would make you more buoyant, actually.
Could be, yeah. I don't know the properties of phlegm.
Liquid inside your body to keep you afloat. So if you're heading out, I put on a coat that stops the rain. What do you call those?
Rain jackets?
Ah, yes. That's the one.
As I was walking here, I was reminded of the usefulness of umbrellas, too.
Of umbrellas, yeah, absolutely.
Because I have a rain little, poncho.
Yeah.
I put that on. That's great. But
you don't want to look like a weirdo.
I don't want to look like a weirdo. I don't need help with that.
That's right.
My upper half is now dry as a result. My pants are wet.
No.
Like, what if I had an umbrella, I would all be dry.
Usually it's your cuffs that are bone dry.
I know.
Everything's not coming up, Lecter.
No, not so far.
All right. Well, I mean, put on your raincoat, get out there and enjoy the day. I don't know. I mean, for most people, this weather doesn't
enjoy.
Of course you can.
Some people enjoy.
I was just going to say, most people like people who are really avid outdoors people take this as like a challenge. They're just like, I'm going to go out there and do all the things I usually do. I'm just going to be wet doing it.
That's dumb.
And other people are like, this is my excuse to finally not doing anything.
That's smart.
Yeah. I've gone camping 8 weeks in a row.
That's right.
Since the end of May.
I need a break.
I'd like to get some sleep at some point.
I'm going to take this rainy Monday off of work.
Yeah.
So that I can just do nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those of you who may have new dogs, Kim G, it might be a day just to spend with the pupper.
No.
Have you seen her post?
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff.
Love.
I love that. Not sure if she's officially adopted yet, but it seems like she's fallen in love.
Yeah, without question.
Absolutely. Beautiful dog.
She's probably at the 57 picture mark,
something
within,
like that. Oh,
a week
absolutely.
and a
I mean,
half
that's kind of the
going.
first. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, right? When you get that new pup, just like everything they do is
That's right.
the most special thing ever.
Yeah.
So Kim G, we wish you luck.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Kim G, possibly with a new dog and a semi appropriate song coming up here right quick.
Oh,
Alabama Shakes, I Found You. This is on accident.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Well, we've put together our crack cabin radio sports team to talk about the Washington Redskins dropping their name after 87 years. I've compiled a group of two white men who also play sports. So I think we're going to get a lot of deep conversation about this thing. Actually, you know what? We don't even want to go into that deep. We just want to talk about the fact that the Washington Redskins now officially announced this morning they will be dropping the so-called Indian head logo, which they talked about last week. Maybe not dropping the name, but dropping the logo. But this morning they said dropping the logo, dropping the name. And all it took was for FedEx, Nike, Pepsi, and Bank of America to say, hey, we're going to pull $500 million of sponsorship money away from you if you don't change the name, which is cool. I guess it's cool for them to, I mean, if you affect the money, then you will make these systemic changes. And that's kind of what happens. I mean, and this is one of these, this is as much public scrutiny as something like this gets. This is a pretty small gesture in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
So the Redskins, the first ones to do it. We know that the Eskimos, the Edmonton Eskimos, or the CFL Edmonton team, is also looking hard at changing their name, although not releasing any of that consultation data that they promised us. And he's like, "Hey, we've consulted with Indigenous groups, and they said that it was fine." So
it sounds like we're not going to go to a party.
Can you show us
I might be there.
Yeah, can you show us those consultations? Well, no, we can't.
I don't think they ever promised that part, to be fair.
Not promised, but I mean...
they weren't going to release the transcripts.
Hey, you know what's super easy? Saying you had a conversation with somebody and then talking to that other person, proving that conversation actually happened.
Yeah.
That's super easy.
Well, there's been lots of follow-up elsewhere, but I didn't know we were getting into this. I thought we were going to try and name the cabin radio team.
We're going to name the cabin radio team. That's at the end. I just want to talk about this. This is the first, seemingly the first kind of domino to fall. A lot of people have been following the story.
I have a question.
Okay.
What are the Redskins going to become now?
They don't know. They're scrapping the name and the logo, and the new name and the new logo will come next.
That's what everyone wants to know, AJ.
Okay. Good.
What they are
way to set up that hook.
Glad I'm with the the main population.
Well, yeah. I mean that's and so what they're hopefully they pick a name that's better. There's already pressure on them not to call themselves the Warriors because it aligns in the same kind of thing. Braves, Warriors, that kind of thing. They don't want any part of any culture to become a mascot, and that's super fair.
It's gonna be tough.
Really, Sharks, Ravens, Panthers.
Oh, those are all taken. All the dangerous animals are taken.
No, but I mean, those aren't tied to the culture of San Jose is not tied to the culture of sharks,
right?
You know,
yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, it's close to the coast.
I mean, yeah, there are sharks around San Jose. I guess
really sharks
that's true.
There.
Yeah, but I mean,
no lakes in L.A.
There's no lakes in LA. You know why? Because they used to be in Minneapolis.
At least it's not
all dried up.
That's where that's where the Lakers used to play in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
and then
I know that from basketball.
There you go. I first found that in baseball too. So I mean, teams move, names change. This should not be a big deal. But it is, and it has been. They've been called the Redskins since 1933 when they were still in Boston.
Well, I think that is a big deal. I mean, 87 years is a long time.
But
I mean the act of doing it.
The act of doing it is it's a too little too late type of thing.
You don't get any applause at this.
No,
point.
not really. It's just you know what I mean.
But it's still a big deal.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean it's actually I don't think it is.
Imagine changing Cabin Radio's name after the long institution we've created.
It's been over 2 years.
People would be blown away.
I think we would align ourselves with most major radio stations in the country. Every 6 months. It's
go with one of the
no, we're not called the Chuck anymore. We're Light FM. No, we're not called the Light FM anymore. We're called
the Queez.
We're called the Queez. 100.1 the Queez.
If you haven't
Feeling
watched-
queasy?
If you haven't watched F is for Family,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. So, hoping that this is the first domino to fall. Eskimos are next. Possibly Cleveland Indians are looking at their name. Even the manager of that team and the general manager have said, yeah, it's time to change the name.
Yeah.
That one is like right up there with Redskins, Indians, and Redskins. Braves is one of those ones that's kind of an outlier, but it is the same thing. It's taking a culture and turning it into a mascot because like they've got the tomahawk as part of their logo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It used to be like a screaming, like a caricature of like a screaming brave, like with the mohawk and the ear and the feather earrings, like doing a war cry. That used to be their logo.
Right.
And then they changed it to the tomahawk. And now people are being asked to they're being asked to maybe change their name from the Braves.
Yeah.
So yeah, these teams are all lining up. The most egregious ones: Redskins, Indians, and Eskimos. They should probably all go right away. Braves probably next. Golden State Warriors, I suppose, might be on there as well. But yeah, I mean, this is
Isn't a warrior more of a blanket term for?
It is kind of a blanket term, but like it's one of those things where like they kind of get conflated, right? There's the brave, the warrior, that kind of thing.
Like you said, there's lots of options. I guess you take warrior off the table.
Yeah, I mean, if you very tenuous
The
tie would be
Badgers.
the ultimate warrior who used a lot of like indigenous and First Nations imagery when he was.
No, you're thinking of Tatanka.
Also Tatanka.
Let's not go into the history of pro wrestling.
Oh my God!
Oh,
my
boy.
God!
Oh yeah.
So
You want to talk about racism?
No, you don't want to talk. But
Ooh.
Washington Redskins probably changing it to the Washington Tatanka.
That's
very respectful, very nice, very nice. But two friends of the show, Tiffany Eilick and pardon me, why am I forgetting
Tough one.
names? No, what?
This is
Kaylee Mackay. Pardon me.
There you go.
For whatever reason, her name wasn't coming to me. Kaylee, I love you. We've known each other for 20 years, and for whatever reason, I blanked. Have been like steadfast on Facebook and Instagram about the Edmonton Eskimos, and we've kind of noticed in the last 2 weeks that ramping up towards changing. The Edmonton Eskimos group now saying that they will do a thorough consultation once again.
Yeah.
Even though they're not going to release the previous consultation, we'll again kind of get into it. And
it just seems like it keeps dropping off. Like they
Yeah.
I hear this all the time. It
it ramps up,
and they're like,
but this-
yeah, we're doing this. And
but
then
I mean,
you just-
it's
you don't
been
hear
with the
them.
Redskins for like the last couple of years too. It ramps up, it goes away. Ramps up, goes away. But now,
But I don't know if there was ever any like internal talk with the Washington Redskins organization. They were pretty much just like,
They're pretty much like,
the
oh,
outside pressures would come about changing the name, and
Yeah.
they would just be like, no, we're not changing. Like
Yeah.
there was never really like a dialogue. Like at
No.
the very least, the Edmonton Eskimos did make a point of.
I don't think they did though. I
They
think,
did.
I don't think they did.
No, they absolutely
I think they're
did.
well. Then why aren't they able to prove that they did that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they could, but it's just like it doesn't change the conversation. Really
No, it
at
doesn't
all.
change the conversation.
That's-
But I mean, if
think
you
that
had
was
a
kind of
sit
their
down,
point.
if you had a sit down and you said that out of that sit down came this, when in actuality nothing came of it whatsoever, that's a pretty big
Yeah.
pile of dog poop.
Well, but they never went into that previous consultation, phase with
the intent of changing
Yeah,
it.
really with
Yeah.
any
Well,
intent
it's
of
just- yeah.
goal. Like
It's
it
just
was
window
just
dressing.
kind of like let's get some actual perspective of
Yeah.
of some Inuk people and how they feel about the name. And I mean, like, I'm sure you saw Jordan Tutu's statement on him, which I think was probably one of the most objective takes I've seen, either way.
A little weak.
And he was honest.
He was honest. He said like,
you know,
it doesn't offend me, but they should change it.
well,
basically.
and it was also it just it doesn't affect me because I don't. That's not how I identify. And he referenced, I think it was either his dad or his grandpa or maybe both, who did identify as Eskimo and didn't think of the term as degrading or anything like that. That was just they took pride in it.
No.
And so he was like, so I realized that for some, within my own family, they don't take offense. I don't identify that way. But I love that he made the point that he specifically pointed out that's not a reason not to change the name. And I was so happy he said that because it added a whole kind of different element to it. It's like just because some people aren't, horribly offended by this word or this name, that's not a reason. That's not justification for keeping the name because at the very least, it's still tokenizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why the Blackhawks, the Chiefs, the Braves, all these other names, it's like whether or not you are horrifically offended by the use of them, there's still a tokenizing term. And at the end of the day, it's still presumably a group of white men who own a trademark of a entire culture
that
and race of people that they make millions of dollars off of. And that's wrong.
Yeah.
And if you waited for the majority, it would never come because it's the minorities that are affected.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, so when you talk about Tutu's take on it and his grandfather, his father, you have older people, former MLAs and things like that, saying that like this doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
What's coming out of the younger demographic is that like, listen, your idea of representation may not be good enough anymore.
Yeah.
Like you back in the day, you may have just been happy that something of your culture, regardless of what it was, is now being marketed as something positive.
Or something
like
positive.
We're all Eskimos,
totally.
we're all fighting, that kind of thing. So the point coming out of people like Tiff and people like Kaylee is that like your idea of representation is not our idea of representation.
We're done being placated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when like you have like things like Eskimo tags, like where Inuk people were given numbers and tags that said Eskimo on them.
Right.
That is enough to be like, oh, okay, we need to completely move away from what that is.
And that can be dangerous when those elders do that because, like this group of white men, they're going to cling to that, right? They're going to be like, this one elder said that it's totally cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He said I don't have to do anything? Okay.
That's exactly right.
Then we're
like,
good here.
The other side of the argument is hundreds and hundreds of people saying, we don't like this, but then there's one older guy who's like, well, I don't have a problem with this.
Yeah, but they're like,
great.
Cool
all the Eskimos fans are going to be like, see, an elder said it, so you guys have to respect that.
That's right.
You're right. It absolutely becomes a dangerous thing. Once again, great to hear from two white guys about what
You're welcome. Perspective.
What the world was dying for.
Just more perspective. So the Redskins dropping that name. Eskimos, you're next. Then the Indians, or whichever way around on that one. You guys are going, and then we're coming for you.
Cabin
Rough
radio
Riders.
Canucks. Cabin radio pennies.
Rough Riders. Remember, we've already named the Edmonton CFL team the River Jacks. They're coming for you to jack ya up the river. That's enough.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Wheeler, Lecter, Ollie, AJ, the whole cadre is here this morning. For this one, anyway. Monday morning, it's rainy, grab a raincoat, get out there and slosh around in puddles. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
As kids?
It's the best.
Right. Oh, it's so good. I don't know of another place where it fills up enough that you can swim in it, though. That's what I want to see.
We used to go skimboarding on the old football field in Australia. It would flood.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd take skimboards down and grind on the soccer nets and stuff.
What's a skimboard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a really, really thin surfboard / boogie board combo. Yeah.
So you kind of with the idea of seeming wildlife, the idea being like the wave comes in, you kind of as it rolls out, you kind of throw it in and skim along the top of the water on the sand. And flip into the wave.
All right.
Pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
We're here to talk about extreme duck racing. And Ollie is here to tell us about what's happening today at 10. It all gets going. What's going on?
Heat number one.
Heat number one.
At 10. The first 300 ducks go in the first of 5 heats to decide who our semi-finalists are going to be.
Yes.
So you're going to be able to watch the highlights of heat number one on our Facebook page from 10 o'clock this morning with your commentators, Holly Williams and Luke Pontin.
Nice.
So Luke from the Bike Park video fame has returned as my analyst for the Ducks. So that was some good fun. Yep, you'll be able to see how the first 300 get on. Then at 2 o'clock this afternoon, it'll be Heat 2.
Okay.
And then Tuesday's got Heats 3 and 4. And then Wednesday morning is Heat 5, after which we will have our 25 duck lineup for the semi-finals. Semi-finals Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Final Sunday at 7. Now, the Ducks do not go over the waterfall until the semi-finals.
Okay.
So the heats are all in the nice flat water. It just eases the ducks in a little bit. You don't want to give them too much too soon.
Nope.
But as soon as we get to Thursday, then you start seeing ducks in white water for the first time.
All right. Little whitewater ducking. Is that something?
Nope.
No? Whitewater rafting? Whitewater ducking?
I knew where you're headed.
No, you
You asked if it was something.
You couldn't get on the trolley with me if you knew where I was headed?
This wasn't your best.
No, it wasn't. All right. Okay.
You could do worse, though.
So what are the prizes up for Extreme Duck Racing?
$1,000 Canadian Tire gift card
Holy jumping.
to the winning duck.
The winning duck.
Well, probably its owner.
And all these ducks have been selected.
All these ducks have been bought ahead of time. We did not know who any of the ducks belonged to until after we'd finished filming.
Okay.
So only after that did I get the list of ducks that allowed me to put up all the graphics on the screen that shows you which duck won and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, nice.
But
have you named every duck in the video? Like, if people watch the video, they're going to see their names attached to every duck? Have you done this?
No.
Oh.
I have not. However,
Only
the
the
top
winners.
5 ducks, you'll know for the winners.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it'd
Perfect.
be a bit cruel. Like, at one point, you might notice, for example, the station dog carries away a duck from the back of the pack. And it was a little bit cruel. If
Sheila.
that- Yeah. Had a name attached to the back of it, as it's sort of being carried away into the distance.
That's my duck. Put it down.
Be a little unfair.
Yeah.
So, no, we've just done the winners, but then the exciting part will be when we get to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Because then you've only got 8 or 9 ducks in a heat, and then we may well be able to attach names to all the ducks.
Very
And
nice.
you'll be able to see in the coverage exactly what is happening to each duck at each point.
So people have bought these ducks. The races are done, but they wait. They've been waiting
Yeah.
for a few days now. Well,
Yeah.
a couple weeks? Couple weeks now?
Yep. We
least a
filmed
couple
everything
weeks,
a couple
yeah.
of weeks ago,
To figure out whether they've won or not.
but we haven't told anybody.
This is torture for people who own ducks.
I think I'm the only person
Who knows?
in existence who knows who won.
Existence. Well, that is something to hang
Yeah.
your hat on.
So I know who won, but
Very
nobody
good.
else does at
Very
this
good.
point.
Okay.
But
It's
you
torture for the
gradually
ducks too. 'Cause,
gradually find out.
They
Yeah.
want to represent well. They've all been forced to sign non-disclosure agreements
Yeah.
because, of course, this is not live.
That's
so
right.
They're
And
sitting on all this information.
And they're just sitting in bags in the back of AJ's truck.
Not anymore. They're back at Canadian Tire,
What?
the resting station.
The resting station? Are people allowed to buy them again?
No, that's just.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to keep them in my truck.
We're just
all year.
gonna we're just gonna keep running duck races until everyone is sick and tired
Set
of
them
ducks.
free.
This
Set them
keeps
free
up,
at
we can
Reed
do
Lake.
right down Franklin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so dump them into Reed Lake and see how long it takes them to get
Well,
back down to the river.
The idea is that this eventually becomes a touring format.
Yeah.
So we've done Cameron Falls.
Yes.
But now, of course, you've got Alexandra. There's
That's
Old
going to be a
Twin
tough
Gorge.
one.
Yeah,
That's the toughest race of the year.
Well, Victoria's might be tougher.
Maybe.
Victoria might be
Ooh,
tougher.
yeah.
But there's a lot of waterfalls in the NWT that we can take those ducks around.
yeah.
Like the whole duck retrieval thing. I'm just thinking Alexandra, Victoria. It may be a little tricky to
See the
extricate a
commercial
couple of the
fishing
ducks
net.
from
You'd be
that.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
less of a hike in.
Yeah.
It is less
So
of a
there's
hike.
that.
Well, we've already established that next time,
Just fall in, really.
instead of hiking in the ducks manually, we just need to get a helicopter with a great big bucket,
Oh,
Yeah.
there we
and
go.
then
Yeah.
just drop 300 ducks at a time
Right.
from a chopper into the lake,
Or potato gun them.
or potato gun them.
I actually pitched that very early on in the stages.
There you
Potato
go.
gun?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Give it a head start.
Take a long time.
It would take a long time, but it'd be fun.
1,500 ducks.
Yeah.
A lot
Well
of
spent.
hairspray. A lot of hairspray.
Before the duck race at Alexandra Falls, this is a question, I ask myself this question every time. Think you could survive a draw from Alexandra Falls? It's not that high.
I mean, the kayaker did it.
Yeah, the kayaker did it.
Yeah.
Remember? With only he got injured though. They got injured, I'm pretty sure.
Because of the
You
kayak.
get injured.
Oh, because of the kayak.
Yeah.
You get injured.
That's a different conversation. Could you not get injured?
Someone
I mean,
knows
you'd
how
get
deep it is
injured.
at the bottom of that. I mean, if it's only about 100 feet, you can survive a jump of 100 feet.
Yeah, I'd put myself in a nice big barrel.
Can I,
Okay. Yeah.
Old school.
Ah.
Tell you
can
what,
I just
I'm going to
briefly
jump down with a bag of ducks.
Can I just briefly interject? Cabin Radio does not have the best record when it comes to this sort of thing.
From
B,
jumping up like 20 feet.
for legal reasons, partly emanating from that. Can I just stress on the air that we do not encourage or condone
Absolutely
No, no,
this
not.
in any
Hypothetical,
way,
no.
shape, or form?
Absolutely
Hypothetical
not.
conversation.
Hypothetical
Good,
conversation.
good,
Absolutely.
good. Carry on.
But if you were to jump on
Oh.
But hypothetically,
Extreme Duck Racing starts at 10 o'clock today, the first heats. And then second heat was 2 o'clock
o'clock.
today. And then we've got heats all week long. So if you got a duck in the race, stay tuned to Cabin Radio, NWT's Facebook page, and listen to us. We'll probably give you some updates as well.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
It's pretty good. Mornings at the Cabin, little fuel hemorrhage. Parentheses in my hands. End parentheses. Wheeler and Lecter with you on your Monday morning. It's a little chilly. Well, it's actually not chilly outside. It's just raining. It's a nice warm rain.
Stuffy in here.
Sweet summer rain. That's from Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Oh, nice.
Have you seen that movie?
No. I know.
See that movie?
I know.
All right. For those of you who just love going to the DMV, you can do it in person again starting tomorrow. That's right. The DMV across the Northwest Territories will reopen for in-person services tomorrow, July 14th. Many services remained available online throughout the initial months of this, thing we're going through. Not like the before times. And we're not even in the after times yet, but not all. And some residents expressed frustration at the extended closure of DMV offices. I want to stand in line to get stuff done for my car.
Well, after all we've been through.
Yes. And all these uncertain times.
You come to a moment where you start to appreciate the things we had before, where, you want to get back to a degree of normalcy and back to the thrills of walking into a sterile environment,
taking a number,
and sitting quietly for an extended period of time.
Well, it seems like no one's doing anything. Not to say anything about people that work at the DMV. Not at all. Everybody has to do their job. If this proved anything, is that a lot of this stuff can be done online and it would be fine. The thing that's been kind of weird though, since they moved everything online, it's actually been slower. Which
everyone's adjusting.
It doesn't. Yeah, everyone's adjusting, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that it would be slower. Like some people have been waiting, and I've kind of firsthand knowledge of this, obviously, because I deal with people in their vehicles every day.
Yeah,
some people are waiting 3 or 4 days just to get their registration.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem. I mean, yeah, it's obviously inconvenient compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be like if you got there at the right time, it's 10 minutes.
But considering, the adjustments and
I suppose,
and not everyone potentially having
a computer.
A computer.
No, but the DMV has the computers and the programming, right? So if it's people
not
from
at home though,
but they should if they're being moved online.
In theory,
here's all the stuff you're going to need to do this online from home.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how they're doing it online from home, or like some are coming into the office and some aren't. But anyway, the joke being that nobody likes going to the DMV, so just move it all online anyway. But it's nice to be able to go in, talk face to face with some people, especially if there's some sort of discrepancy or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot easier to deal with someone face to face if there are issues that arise than it is to go back and forth through emails, which I don't know why, but it just adds a degree of exhaustion to everything.
There shouldn't really be discrepancies aside, there really shouldn't be a back and forth in emails. Here's the sheet, because they've got a formatted sheet that you fill out.
Right.
Here's my sheet. Here's my name, my records. You have access to my records. There it is. Send me back my registration. That should be about it. I send you a copy of my insurance. Send me back my registration.
Put the wrong social insurance number.
So?
You got your birthday wrong.
Oh, well.
You you lied about your
Just give me my ID. Well, it's not like back in the day. I've got my old learners up here, which I was granted 23 years ago in September. So September 19th will be 23 years since that picture was.
What a good-looking kid.
What a good-looking kid. What a weird-looking kid. I look like I have like a massive underbite in that photo.
There's
like my chin's out of line. I'm like, Nyeh.
Yeah, there's a little Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah. But I mean, those things were easy to forge. So easy. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
All you had to do was cut open the little plastic part, take out the paper license, and then put in whatever number you wanted. I never did that.
No,
all right?
Of course not.
I never did that.
Of course not.
Not that one, anyway.
No.
That one is pure.
No one was taking that picture and making a copy of it to use it as a potential.
Nobody looks like this
my
guy.
age.
Nobody looks like this guy at all.
Well, plus you look 12. So
I
that's
do
not
look
helping
12.
anyone else.
I still look 12.
You look like 18 now.
Okay, 18. Cool. Finally passed for voting age. Thank goodness. I'm going to make a difference in this country. So if you like going to the DMV, I mean, I understand. But doing everything online seems a lot easier to me, and maybe it probably isn't. I've run into a lot of people who have run into issues.
If you like going to do you think the DMV has regulars?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim, how's it going? Just renewing your license? No. Okay. Want to retake your picture?
Tim walks up. Someone's sitting in his seat. I know you're new here, but I'm Tim.
I'm Tim. I sit here and I wait for
seat.
C42 to come up, and then I go up. That'd be amazing. Okay. Well, they're asking you obviously when you go in tomorrow, keep physical distancing rules. They're asking you to bring your own mask, stay 2 meters apart from people, and as a result of that, capacity may be reduced and will depend on the office size in each community. Obviously, here in Yellowknife, we've got a pretty big one. Probably fit, I don't know, probably 25 people in there.
Yeah.
And still be safe. Meanwhile, staff at the office will have hand sanitizer, wipes, and gloves as part of their COVID-19 safety measures. Now, you can book an appointment online. That's awesome. Booking an appointment ahead of time, perfect. So if you want to do that, Yellowknife residents, You're asked to book your appointments ahead of time by emailing dmv@gov.nt.ca, which is great.
Do you still have to take a number when you arrive?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think you'll. Well, maybe you do.
That's
maybe
half
you get
the fun.
Maybe you get. I know, taking a number from that thing. Look at this.
96. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Under the sea, 42. So book an appointment, which is nice. That's nice to have, because sometimes you're like, well, I'll go to 8 a.m., no one will be there. Or I'll go at like 9:30. You try to guess when people aren't going to be there.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. It's never. There's always people there.
Tim's always there.
Tim's always there, and he's always standing in line regardless of whether he needs something.
Welcoming you with a smile.
Get out of there. Mornings at the Cabin done for another day. We're going to continue our James Bond-a-thon throughout this entire morning. We had View to a Kill earlier by Duran Duran. We had No Time to Die just this hour from Billie Eilish. And I got some Tina Turner Goldeneye coming up.
Wow.
You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Don't forget your raincoat, bud. It's raining. Don't wear a poncho. You'll look like a weirdo. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.